Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50, a mass shooting in Orlando leaves 2 people dead and at least 6 others hurt. What police are saying about the person they have in custody.
And it's a warm start this morning. Temperatures are still in the low to mid 60s. One more warm afternoon before tonight's front drops our temperatures a good bit for the weekend.
And just a reminder, Election Day is fast approaching. We're going to talk about everything you need to know to get to the polls before early voting ends tomorrow.
And both presidential candidates make a final push to earn the votes of North Carolinians, where each campaign will make stops in our state tomorrow. Good morning and happy Friday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lovingood. November 1st. It's Friday.
We're here. It's November.
Just
That's
blazing through 2024, and it's actually a really nice day to get out and celebrate the first day of November. Maybe, I don't know, go camping this weekend. A lot of things you can do. We've got meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner starting us off in North Hills. Pretty cool skies.
You know, we actually have some really nice campgrounds here along, especially along Falls Lake. There's some really nice ones, and it wouldn't be bad. It's going to be a little cooler overnight the next few nights, though. North Hills looking beautiful right now. Gorgeous sunshine there, a little bit of cloud cover. 64 is our temperature. Our dew point 61, and that puts us back in the tolerable zone, a little bit higher than we've seen for much of this week. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s, which is going to run anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees warmer than it was this time yesterday. And if you're headed out to vote early, our temperature climbs to 81 this afternoon. But if you're headed out this evening, we're looking at mid 70s. It'll be dry through the evening, but overnight we could see a little bit of light patchy rain that could linger into early Saturday morning in some places. So I'll show you that coming up. A 60% chance that we could have some development here in the Caribbean, but it's not likely to happen until early next week. By Thursday, this computer model is showing a little circulation here in the middle of the Gulf, but no real indications if or when it may make landfall at all in the United States.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're going to keep on top of this situation on I-40 westbound this morning. This crash right here on near South Saunders Street. We're not picking up any delays in the sensors because it's a major road. We just want to keep track of it. You see, congestion has definitely built up in those westbound lanes moving away from us, but really and truly nothing that's going to make you late this morning. We are following also a crash on Pool Road as well. We just found out about this crash. It's causing some delays right there in Pool Road near the Beltline. So just wanted you to know about that as well. There's also this crash on the Beltline in the northern loop near New Bern Avenue, and you can see the heavy congestion that's building on those northern loop of the Beltline. Those westbound lanes are moving away from us this morning. But again, here again, it's moving at a steady clip, nothing that's going to really make you late. Dooley Road, this crash is likely in the southbound lanes, probably in the clearing phase near Glenwood Avenue. We have not picked up any problems in that particular area as well, but just in case you have to navigate that area, you should know about it. If you're listening to us on the radio this morning, we do appreciate that. You can do the same if you're heading out 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
All right, thank you, Ken. If you still want to vote early, you're running out of time. Polls are open today and only part of the day tomorrow. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Carey Senior Center. And Kelsey, close to half of registered voters here in our state have already cast their ballots.
Yes, Michelle, the Carey Senior Center here is actually one of the top 3 most visited early voting locations in Wake County. More than 3.6 million North Carolinians have already cast their ballot, and you still have some time left to do that as a part of early voting. We'll give you a breakdown of some new data from the State Board of Elections. 53% of all registered Republicans in North Carolina participated in early voting, followed by 48% of Democrats and 40% of unaffiliated voters. A final reminder for early voting. Today and tomorrow will be your last chance to use same-day registration. You cannot register to vote on Election Day. If you use same-day registration, you will need proof of residency and an acceptable form of photo ID, like your driver's license. So polls opened here within the last 5 minutes at 8 o'clock, and early voting ends tomorrow at 3. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Today, Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance will campaign in Selma, and he plans to speak at a rally there around 5:30-ish tonight. He spent yesterday in High Point. He also spoke at a town hall hosted by High Point University. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump will have rallies in Gastonia and Greensboro tomorrow. That same day, Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Charlotte.
And in addition to the president and governor, this election has several statewide races. North Carolina will elect 10 statewide officials for council of the state. At least 6 will be new faces. About 200,000 voters in 2020 did not vote for some council of state races, and those votes could matter greatly. Donald Trump won his 2020 race by less than 75,000 votes in North Carolina. For more on the council of state races, you can visit the NC Capital section of WRAL.com.
Now, a breaking story we have followed since about 4 this morning. 2 people are dead and at least 6 others were injured. This is because of a mass shooting at a public Halloween celebration in Orlando. Investigators say the victims were shot around 1 o'clock in the morning and police responded minutes afterward. This is in the downtown area. The victims were taken to the hospital and are alive at last check. A 17-year-old suspect has been arrested. You can see right here that moment in the video. Police say video from the scene shows the suspect opening fire before running away with the crowd. He then opened fire at a second location, and that is where police arrested him.
One juvenile was stabbed, another was hurt on Valley Edge Drive in Raleigh last night. That's where we find Monica Casey in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker this morning. Monica, what can you tell us about this incident?
Michelle, we know this happened around 8:30 last night. Raleigh police tell us one young person was stabbed and another was hurt in this situation. I've been going through Broadcastify radio traffic this morning trying to find more information about what happened here. At one point, a dispatcher tells a first responder that one of those young people may have been hit in the head with a baseball bat.
En route to the stabbing, the suspect was going to be a female wearing a ski mask who attacked both of the boys.
Police tell us there are 2 suspects in this case, both also under the age of 18. We have asked for more information about those suspects, also pushing for the ages of those victims as well as their conditions here this morning. Live in Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
In Cumberland County, police are looking for the person they say is responsible for killing a Spring Lake man last night. 21-year-old Treason Green is wanted for the murder of 22-year-old DeMonte Larson. Police say the crime happened on Atomic Drive yesterday. Green is charged with first-degree murder. Anyone with information on Green's whereabouts is asked to call 911.
A Selma police officer is out of a job. That's because of a video of this traffic stop that went viral. Take a look.
You just stepped out of the car. Right, you didn't even ask me about it. Hold on, sir. I know my rights. Get out of the car. Get out the car, man. For what? He's already asked you. Get out of the car.
Selma's mayor confirmed that Officer Joseph Atkinson was fired after an internal investigation. The man he pulled over, Matthew Sanders, claims Atkinson tried to delete that video from his phone. Sanders posted the video to social media, and that is where it has been shared hundreds of thousands of times. He says he felt violated by the officer's actions, claiming Atkinson treated him unjustly. He says he plans to fight the charges filed against him.
I think that the judge, the district attorney, and my attorney will look at this, and they're going to look for the officer in the courtroom. He's not going to be there, and they're going to throw it out.
Town leaders say officers had probable cause to stop Sanders, but the way the stop was handled, that did not meet the town standards, according to them. Selma police officers do not wear body cameras.
Part of Fenton Street in Raleigh is closed this morning as crews work to repair a water main break. The road runs between Capitol Boulevard and Tivoli Court. It closed at 5 a.m. and will stay closed through Tuesday. Drivers are asked to avoid the area if possible.
Police have made an arrest nearly 5 months after 7-year-old Zion Gibbs on your screen was shot and killed while playing video games in Fayetteville. 19-year-old Sierra Chambers is charged with felony accessory after the fact. And this is actually the first person to be publicly identified with this case. Police have not said how they believe Chambers is connected to Gibbs' death.
Cumberland County deputies are looking for the person accused of killing a man. It happened Saturday at 4:30 in the afternoon on Trace Avenue. When detectives got there, they found 57-year-old David Matthews. At this time, we don't know how he died, but his death was ruled a homicide. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office.
Thousands of patients could be left in limbo as a major hospital insurance contract is set to expire. Duke University Health Systems and United Healthcare have been negotiating for weeks. The current deal expires today and could affect surgeries and other health care needs for 170,000 people statewide. We have posted links to Duke and United Healthcare's latest statements on the negotiations at WRAL.com.
Well, you'll need to be aware of road closures around Raleigh on Sunday as thousands of runners will hit the streets for the 18th annual City of Oaks Marathon. The race gets started on Glenwood Avenue, 7 o'clock Sunday morning. Runners will be on Hillsborough Street and other adjacent side streets. WRAL is a proud community partner of this event.
Time now, 8:10. Halloween was a roaring success in Chapel Hill last night. Hear why business owners on Franklin Street look forward to the costume-clad customers every single year.
And a Halloween treat for Caniacs at the Lenovo Center. How the team celebrated their 6-goal lead over the Boston Bruins.
And one more really warm day, looking at 81 for the high this afternoon. But a front comes through tonight, could bring us a little bit of light rain and then delivering much cooler temperatures in the 60s for tomorrow. I'll show you the timeline for the front.
Welcome back. Happy Friday, 8:14. As you take a live look over the beautiful WRAL Gardens. It is feeling really nice out there. It's mild. It's going to be another mild day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has a look around town. We were just talking about Halloween and how nice it was last night.
It really was. It's going to be nice again tonight with similar temperatures. But then tomorrow afternoon, you're going to notice a big drop in the temperature. It's beautiful in Fayetteville here, where we have sunrise in progress. We're getting blue skies in Apex and in Raleigh. Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant, looking beautiful everywhere. Clinton here, starting to see a little bit of brightness there off in the distance. There is fog here, visibility down to 1/4 mile at the sensor, and you can still see it's there. But as the sun comes up, we'll see that fog dissipating pretty quickly. No fog in our northern counties, including the Triangle. Smithfield at 1/2 mile, Clinton below 1/2 mile. Irwin was down to 1/4 mile earlier. But again, now that sun is up, we should see any patches of fog in our southern counties dissipating pretty quickly. This is our next big weather maker. I shouldn't say big weather maker. I mean, it's going to bring us a big drop in our temperature, but all that rain along this front will mostly dissipate before it gets to us. Here's a look at lunchtime, and we're quiet at lunchtime. That cold front will start to drop in on us, and we'll see just really probably nothing with this evening. Now, once we get into midnight or so, we may see a few showers. Futurecast shows a few of those up near the Virginia line at around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And mid-morning, there could be one quick sprinkle that rolls through the Triangle. That's about it. After lunchtime, we should start to see our skies clearing out. So we're talking about 1/10 of an inch or less around our viewing area with the system coming through, and maybe a chance next Thursday. We are drying out, of course, and this is not going to bring enough rain to move the needle at all. Last week, 7% of the state was abnormally dry. This week, 70% of the state is abnormally dry. A lot of that is the coast or our northern counties or down into the southeast. Of course, western North Carolina still, had all that rain from Helene, so they're not moving the needle there just yet. Football Friday looks great. Temperatures will be mostly in the 60s through the game. This evening, we'll see increasing cloud cover, so it'll be fairly cloudy, and a cloudy start on Saturday. So if you're out tailgating before that noon game at NC State, it may be a little gray to start with, and then it's going to be cool in the afternoon. Take along the sweaters and the jackets. We'll see increasing sunshine during the afternoon, but definitely a good bit cooler. 60% chance of development here in the Caribbean. Most likely, sometime middle of next week, we start to see some circulation here in the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, no consensus on it making landfall in the United States. Of course, we fall back. We get rid of daylight time over the weekend. Of course, that changes our sunset time dramatically on Sunday. I'll show you coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that situation on I-40 westbound near South Saunders Street. We're talking about this crash right here this morning. We're not seeing any issues in that area, but because I-40 is such a major roadway, such a major route this morning, we thought we'd just let you know what's going on. You can't see the crash here, likely in the clearing phase, but you can see those westbound lanes moving away from us, actually moving at a really slow, steady clip, but at least that traffic is moving this morning. We do want to get to northern loop of the Beltline this morning. We are hearing about a crash on Pool Road, not causing any problems on Pool Road near the Beltline. This other crash there on the Beltline near Newbern Avenue, also, again, not causing any particular issues in that area, but we just thought you should know about it because here's a look at I-440 and Capitol Boulevard. You can see traffic is moving along at a nice steady clip in both directions, which is good news this morning. Elsewhere, we're just seeing a little bit of a slowdown on those eastbound lanes there on the Beltline. I'll check that out and let you know exactly what's going on probably in the next 10 minutes or so. If you're getting ready to head out, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Rapper Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, is out of prison this morning. New video shows him leaving a Georgia jail hours after he entered a plea deal. The Grammy-winning rapper pleaded guilty to several charges, including firearms possession and participating in criminal street gang activity. The plea actually effectively ended the longest trial in Georgia history. Despite being released, he does have to serve 15 years probation.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says good progress is being made on a potential ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. American diplomats are in Israel for talks. Israel has launched widespread airstrikes across Lebanon in recent weeks, as well as a ground invasion of areas near the border. Lebanese officials say at least 2,200 people have died. Ceasefire negotiations on both sides have been stalled for months.
Rescuers are desperately trying to find survivors caught in Spain's worst flooding in a century. Spanish leaders say hundreds of soldiers have deployed to help with the search and recovery effort. Severe flooding happened after parts of the country got a year's worth of rain in just a few hours. More than 100 people are confirmed dead. The country is in a 3-day mourning period through Saturday.
The U.S. Supreme Court has declined to halt the execution of a South Carolina man scheduled for today. Richard Moore argued the makeup of his trial's all-white jury was racially unjust. He claims prosecutors excluded 2 black jurors from his case because of their race. The state denies that accusation and says one of the jurors was Hispanic. Moore was convicted of killing a store clerk during a 1999 robbery. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster is still considering clemency.
Former President Donald Trump is suing CBS over their 60-minute interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump alleges in the lawsuit that during the interview, which aired in early October, that it was, quote, doctored and misleading. The suit demanded a jury trial and at least $10 billion in damages. CBS responded to that suit, saying that the claims are false. It also said that 60 Minutes did not edit or hide any parts of Harris's answers and fairly presented the interview to inform the audience, not mislead them.
New this morning, with just 4 days until Election Day, the latest WRAL News poll is taking a look at how much North Carolinians say they'll trust election results. Among all voters, 69% say they have some or full confidence that election votes will be counted accurately. But when we drill down between political affiliations, that's where we see some big differences. 83% of Democrats say they have confidence in election counting, while just 58% of Republicans do. Unaffiliated voters are in the middle with 68%, and nearly 40% of Republican voters say they have little to no confidence that votes will be counted accurately. State Election Director Karen Brinson-Bell says many systems and checks are in place to make sure your votes are kept safe.
We pre-test the tabulators to make sure that they are counting accurately. We have everyone insert their ballot into those tabulators, which are secured and sealed, and there's a chain of custody to that equipment. They are not connected to the internet. And then post-election, we do an audit to verify the accuracy of those tabulators.
And just a reminder, early in-person voting goes on tonight until 7:30 and tomorrow afternoon until 3. WRAL will have full coverage of all local, state, and national races on election night. Head to WRAL.com to get a full breakdown of the coverage.
People celebrating Halloween hit Franklin Street in Chapel Hill last night. Oh, they were celebrating in style. We see ghouls, ghosts, and superheroes among the groups enjoying the night. It's a Chapel Hill tradition going back decades. The town ramped up its security downtown, but this year, no streets were closed. Business owners on Franklin Street say they look forward so much to see the big boost that they get each year on Halloween. They say it's like a college football game day. The Canes and their fans turned last night's game at the Lenovo Center into a Halloween party. The Canes scored some more in the first game. That was back home after their State Fair road trip. The Canes beat the Boston Bruins 8-2. And after the game, the players tossed candy bars into the stands.
Oh, boy, the Bruins did not look good last night. The Canes did, though. A spectacular play by New York Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson helped lead his team to a Thursday night win. Wilson pulled down this one-handed touchdown in the fourth quarter to put the Jets ahead of the Houston Texans. Look at that catch. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 touchdowns in all as the Jets went on to beat Houston 21-13.
The NFL season enters its second half this weekend. WRAL and Fox 50, they're your place for all the action. It gets started Sunday on Fox 50 with the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons at 1. Then at 4:25, Lions versus Packers. After that, turn over to WRAL to Football Night in America. Then at 8:20, the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings play Sunday Night Football.
This weekend will turn back the clocks, marking the end of daylight saving time, where efforts to extend the practice year-round currently stands.
Plus, we do have a warning for parents from doctors. They're reporting a rise in what's called walking pneumonia among young children. We'll talk about the warning signs you're going to want to know about.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy November. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We are warm for the first day of November. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with temperatures we're seeing right now.
Such a nice evening for trick-or-treating. It's going to be a really nice day to be outside today. Really warm like it was yesterday. Very warm this morning. Temperatures are in the low to mid 60s. We're seeing lots of sunshine. But a front comes through this evening, and that's going to bring us some cloud cover later on. You may not even need a jacket. It's so warm as you're stepping out right now. Walking the dog this afternoon, 81, and after work, temperatures are back into the 70s. After midnight, a sprinkle, which could linger into early Saturday morning in our northern counties. Ken?
That's what's happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. A couple of areas that I want to bring your attention to this morning, particularly the Beltline and Cary, those eastbound lanes around Avon Ferry and Gorman Street, as well as Western Boulevard. You're seeing a little bit of a slowdown. We're also seeing it on the southern loop of the Beltline with the Gorman Street as well. Just something to take note of as you're getting ready to head out this morning. Also, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown in the eastbound lanes of US 1 right there between Burlington Mills Road and Perry Creek Road. Again, just something to note as you're heading out this morning. We're going to have an update on the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50 coming up.
Thanks, Ken. Tomorrow will be your final chance to participate in early voting. Polls open at 8 o'clock today and close at 7:30 p.m. And on Saturday, polls will close early at 3 p.m. Today and tomorrow will be your last chance to use same-day registration. You cannot register to vote on Election Day. Next on Fox 50, Halloween celebrations bring big business to Franklin Street in Chapel Hill. And next on Today, Inside the Game looks at how the NFL is building an international market, starting with Africa.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Out there this morning with really warm temperatures. This afternoon is also very warm, but I'll show you a cold front that comes through tonight that may bring a few sprinkles and some cooler temperatures.
Halloween celebrations turned deadly after a gunman opened fire in Orlando. What we know about the suspect, police arrested.
And your time is running out to participate in early voting. What you need to know to cast your vote before polls close until Election Day. Thank you so much for joining us here on your Friday, November 1st. I cannot believe we are in November. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
No, I'm Chris Levingood. Yeah, a lot of people standing outside to cast their ballots. Obviously, had some record numbers for people early voting. Today, probably a good day to go and do it if you are going to stand outside. We've got Elizabeth Gardner tracking your forecast to start.
It looks gorgeous out there right now, doesn't it? We'll take a live look at Apex. We've had some patchy fog in a couple of spots down in Irwin and down to Clinton, but most of us have seen lots of sunshine this morning as that sun has come up, and it's comfortable out there too. 64 degrees. Our dew point is 61, which kind of puts us at tolerable instead of comfortable. But once we get into the weekend, we're going to see a drop in temperature and humidity again. Temperatures low to mid 60s, stepping out the door, running anywhere from 5 to about 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. It's pretty significant for a morning. Lunchtime, 77. If you're headed out to vote today, it's going to be warm, but increasing clouds. 81 this afternoon, dropping into the 70s before the polls close. It will be dry today. We're not looking at any rain until overnight tonight and then early on Saturday morning. 70%, I meant to change this for you. Notice, I don't know why it's flashing red, but 70% chance. We just got an update from the Hurricane Prediction Center looking at the potential for a depression to develop over the weekend and then next week, potentially a tropical storm storm in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll go over some of those details coming up in just a few minutes, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, all new into the WRAL Traffic Center. We just got reports of this crash just now that happened right now in the southern part of Raleigh on Wilmington Street near Tryon Road. We're keeping an eye on it. We're not seeing any delays in that particular area, but just in case you have to navigate that particular area, we want to let you know what's going on there. We were seeing a little bit of a slowdown on the southern loop of the Beltline, those westbound lanes as well, those eastbound lanes coming into the capital city this morning, but you can see the sensors have definitely cleared up. What hasn't cleared up is US 1, Capitol Boulevard this morning between Prairie Creek Road and Burlington Mills Road. We're not getting any reports of a crash. It's probably just the usual morning congestion, maybe traffic lights on Capitol Boulevard. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know how much is going to continue to affect your morning commute this morning. Elsewhere, all the major routes are really delay-free this morning. Just a couple of incidents dotting our live traffic sensors this morning. If you're getting ready to head out, we've got you covered. Listen to us anywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3. You can also listen to us at 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Folks, a reminder, if you still want to vote early, you're kind of running out of time. Polls are open today and only part of the day tomorrow. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Carey Senior Center. And Kelsey, close to half of registered voters here in North Carolina have already voted for the 2024 election.
Yes, Chris, we're seeing a huge early voter turnout numbers, and the Carey Senior Center here is actually one of the top 3 most visited early voting locations here in Wake County. You still have some time left to cast your ballot early, and more than 3.6 million North Carolinians have already done that. So let's get you to a breakdown of some of the numbers from the State Board of Elections. 53% of all registered Republicans in North Carolina participated in early voting, followed by 48% of Democrats and 40% of unaffiliated voters. A final reminder for early voting. Today and tomorrow will be your last chance to use same-day registration. You cannot register to vote on Election Day. So if you use same-day registration, you will need proof of residency and an acceptable form of photo ID like your driver's license. And polls already opened here around 8 o'clock this morning, and early voting ends tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Carey.
Today, Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance will campaign in Selma. That's where he'll be. He plans to speak at a rally there around 5:30 tonight. He spent yesterday in High Point. The Ohio senator spoke at a town hall hosted by High Point University. And meanwhile, former President Trump will have rallies in Gastonia and Greensboro tomorrow. That same day, Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Charlotte.
People in Durham are invited to NCCU's campus this afternoon. That's for an event celebrating voter empowerment. From 3 p.m. until 6, everyone is invited to party at the polls. That's in the parking lot there behind the Criminal Justice Building. There will be free food, music, and activities for children and discussions on the importance of voting. This event is meant to inspire voter participation with less than a week remaining until Election Day.
Breaking news this morning. 2 people are dead and at least 6 others are hurt after a mass shooting at a public Halloween celebration in Orlando, Florida. Police say the victims were shot around 1 a.m. in the city's downtown area. The victims were taken to the hospital and are stable. A 17-year-old suspect has been arrested. Police say video from the scene shows the suspect opening fire before running away with that crowd. He then opened fire at a second location where police made their arrest.
One young person was stabbed and another person was hurt on Valley Edge Drive in Raleigh. This happened last night. Let's go to WRAL's Monica Casey. She is in that neighborhood in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Monica, tell us a little bit more about this stabbing.
Yeah, Chris, we are working to nail down a lot of details, but right now we know this happened around 8:30 last night. Raleigh police tell us one young person was stabbed and a second young person was hurt. I've been going through Broadcastify radio traffic this morning, trying to get more information on what happened. At one point in that radio traffic, a dispatcher tells a first responder that second victim may have been hit in the head with a baseball bat.
En route to the stabbing, a suspect was going to be a female wearing a ski mask who attacked both of the boys.
Police tell us there are 2 suspects in this case, both under the age of 18. We are working to learn more information about those suspects as well as the ages of the victims and their conditions in this case. Live in Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
In Cumberland County, police are looking for the person they say is responsible for killing a man from Spring Lake. This happened last night. 21-year-old Trayshawn Green is wanted for the murder of 22-year-old DeMonte Larson. Investigators say that this happened on Atomic Drive yesterday. Green is charged with first-degree murder, and anyone with information on this case, you are asked to call 911.
A warning to parents from doctors as more kids are coming down with the lung infection known as walking pneumonia. The CDC reports a notable increase in this infection among children ages 2 to 4. It's typically rare for children under 5. Most experience mild symptoms, but it can cause complications such as inflammation of the brain. Doctors say you should watch out for difficulty breathing, dehydration, and lethargy.
And Jeff Hogan at the WRAL Live Center. Brand new information just in. The highly anticipated economic jobs data is out just moments ago. This was released. This is the last piece of really important economic data before the election next week. Now, the numbers, as you see here, adding 12,000 jobs. This was expected to be a pretty volatile number here because it was forecasted anywhere between a negative number and up to 180,000 jobs being added. The final tally that comes in here at 12,000 with two major hurricanes that hit the U.S. and a large number of those striking Boeing workers right now expected to have a factor in that, a negative impact on the data. The economy remains the top issue, as we have known from our polls, for the majority of voters that are out there. And this just falls right in line with how volatile those numbers were expected to be. And will it affect, of course, the Fed in its decision on rates next week?
We'll have to see. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Opening statements begin today in the trial of a former Camp Lejeune Marine charged with killing a man on a New York subway. Daniel Penny is charged with killing Jordan Neely last year. A jury of 5 men and 7 women will decide the case. Most say they ride the subway often. Some have witnessed people making outbursts or acting erratically and felt threatened by it.
On Monday, the union representing Boeing factory workers who are on strike will vote on a new contract offer. They rejected an offer last week. The new one would offer raise wages that are 38%. We're talking about over a 4-year period. The company is also offering a $12,000 contract ratification bonus. That's actually up from the $7,000 previously offered. Workers have been on strike for 7 weeks. This has shut down production of most Boeing airline jets.
It's quiet this morning on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill, but last night it was a scary good time as thousands came out to celebrate Halloween on the town. Ghouls, ghosts, and superheroes were among the revelers on Franklin Street last night. It's a Chapel Hill tradition that goes back decades. The town ramped up its security presence downtown, but this year no streets were closed. People that we spoke with say it's all in good fun.
Everybody's just doing their own thing. They're creative. They're just coming out, enjoying each other.
Business owners on Franklin Street say they look forward to the big boost they get each year on Halloween. They say it's like a college football game day.
Didn't see any seagull costumes out there, though. The NFL season enters its second half this weekend, and of course, WRAL and Fox 50, this is the place for the action. It gets started Sunday on Fox 50 with the Dallas Cowboys and the Falcons at 1. Then at 4:25, Lions versus Packers. After that, make sure to turn to WRAL for Football Night in America. Then at 8:20, the Colts versus Vikings. They're going to play on Sunday Night Football.
A tense experience for some early voters in Raleigh. Police are searching for a man caught on camera stealing political signs. Why voters say they started recording after he started yelling.
And it is a tightly kept secret, or at least it was. What was Heidi Klum going to wear for Halloween? We'll get you a look at her out-of-this-world transformation that has some people calling her the Queen of Halloween.
That she is. And break out the shorts. It's going to be an unseasonably warm day today for November 1st. You're looking live over Lake Gaston this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains the cold front cooling us down this weekend.
here we have Southern Pines. Some of the players are going to hit the ball there and maybe get a hole-in-one as I pretend to be your golf announcer. Just kidding here. Beautiful day to start it, especially after yesterday, another good one. And going into the weekend with blue skies and warm temperatures, Elizabeth, no complaints.
Yeah, look at this. Gorgeous. North Hills, pretty sunshine here. Temperatures are warm. We're starting off in the 60s again like we did yesterday. Our dew point's at 61. That's up there for this time of year for sure. So it feels tolerable. It doesn't really feel humid, but you can tell just a bit of a difference. We'll climb into the mid-70s by lunchtime and around 80, 81 degrees this afternoon. We will see increasing clouds. We have a front that'll come through. This is our next weather maker. I don't want to call it a big weather maker because it is going to drop our temperatures significantly, but there's just not going to be a whole lot of rain with this. As it moves across the mountains, it will lose some energy and some moisture. So here's how it looks. We're kicking things off this morning with some sunshine. We'll end up with some cloud cover closer to lunchtime. By about 9 or 10 o'clock, there could be a quick sprinkle that pops up, but I mean a tiny one, lifting early tomorrow morning back up toward the Virginia line. But again, just very light. And then again, mid-morning, there may be a quick sprinkle that rolls through. But the amount of rain that we see with this is likely to be a tenth of an inch or less, and most of us won't see it. We're going to give it about a 20% chance. We should see some clearing, some clouds starting to break up on Saturday afternoon, but the first part of the day will be cloudy. It's a little breezy. We have a flow coming out of the south, so southerly wind at around 5 to 10. We're gusting to 15 right now in South Hill, and we could gust 15 to 20 this afternoon as that front gets a little bit closer to us. Heading out the door, really mild, low to mid 60s, almost our normal high temperature for this time of year. But today, that high, 81 in Raleigh, 78 in Durham, and 83 in Fayetteville. Pretty weather watcher photo from Sanford. Julie Lemon sent us this view of the beautiful trees changing color there. Go to WRAL.com, search weather watchers, and send us a few photos. 68 is our normal high. We will see that tomorrow. So we do have cool temperatures coming for the weekend, but today stays warm. And again, Saturday may be a little cloudy to kick things off. It's going to be another warm start tomorrow morning, but our normal low is down at 44. That's chilly. And we will see 40s for Sunday and Monday morning before we start to warm up again. We go back to standard time this weekend. We get an extra hour of sleep, but some big changes in the way things feel. Our sunset today is 6:19. On Sunday, it'll be 5:19. That sun rises earlier too at 6:46. So big changes coming. City of Oaks Marathon, it takes over downtown Raleigh on Sunday morning. Really nice temperatures for the runners. We're going to start off with things in the 50s. Should be a nice, bright, clear day with some cool temperatures. So I know folks are happy about that, and we are a proud partner of that race. We begin a warm up next week. Look at that. We still have 80s in the 7-day forecast.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. The police in Raleigh are working to make an arrest after a shooting on Pole Road that left a person hurt. The shooting happened just after 7 o'clock last night. This was at a house near Carver Street. What you're seeing here is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. This is the moment officers were searching a boarded up building. Investigators say the person who was shot was taken to the hospital, and they say that person is still alive at last check. But they haven't quite yet identified a suspect in this case.
Authorities are searching for a driver who hit and killed a woman riding in a mobility scooter in Cumberland County. Investigators say 63-year-old Rebecca Dunbent was hit on June 1st. She was trying to cross Cliffdale Road near Seaford Drive in Fayetteville. The intersection is near a blind curve and there are no traffic lights. Dunbent's mother says that while she suffered an emotional loss, she has already forgiven the person who hit and killed her daughter.
I know it is causing a lot of pain for them, and I hope that they can accept the forgiveness that is there.
She has a forgiving heart. Investigators don't have any pictures of a suspect vehicle. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Fayetteville police.
I want to tell you about another investigation, this one from Raleigh Police. They're looking into an incident at an early voting site yesterday. Let me talk more about this video here. The man caught on this video, he was destroying political signs, and he was confronted by other voters who said he was shouting at them.
Sir, put the signs down. They're not yours. They're not yours.
They're no one's. Get it? It's not illegal to take signs. It is illegal to assault people. To assault people. I heard it. You touched me. That is assault and battery.
Sir, put the signs down.
A little more context here. The man ripped up several Harris Wall signs. And just in case you didn't know, stealing or damaging a political sign, that is a misdemeanor. Witnesses reported his license plate number to police.
And Chris, another sign stealing incident coming into the WRAL newsroom right now. And this was a Trump sign that was stolen at a couple of different locations. I want to show you on this map here exactly where. Wake Forest police arrested a woman for stealing Trump campaign signs. Now, according to the arrest warrant, this happened at the Rogers Road South Main Street intersection. You see on this map right across the street from Wake Forest Middle School, and another at the Highway 98 and South Main Street intersection. The 61-year-old Wake Forest resident Elizabeth Allen was charged with a misdemeanor in this case. Police say those signs were placed in an approved area for campaign signs. They were legally there. Allen is due in court in December.
November's here. The first weekend of November is filled with holiday shopping opportunities, plus the festival fit for a foodie. Let's start with a Day of the Day celebration in the Triangle. Once Halloween is over, it's time to celebrate the Mexican holiday Dia los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. The holiday honors the memories of loved ones who have passed away. Tonight, the city of Raleigh is hosting a free Day of the Dead event on Fayetteville Street. The family-friendly event runs from 6 to 9 tonight. There will be live performances, food trucks, art and crafts, and more.
Tomorrow, a Diwali festival is happening in Wake Forest, and you can celebrate the Festival of Lights at Joyner Park from noon until 3. There's going to be food, music, activities, and of course, guys, yes, there will be light displays. This event is free and open to the public.
And it's going to be a beautiful weekend, which makes it even more perfect for a delicious celebration in Durham. The last Durham Central Park Food Truck Rodeo of the year is happening from noon until 4 p.m. on Sunday. There will be over 35 food trucks along with local craft beer vendors. For more on these events, go to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
The highly anticipated sequels to Moana and Gladiator. They're among the movies headed to theaters in November. Rick Damigella has a preview of these titles releasing.
Time sure does fly, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Tom Hanks, Robin Wright, and director Robert Zemeckis reunite for the family drama Here, arriving in theaters November 1st.
We need to return to the church.
If you aren't ready to leave, you'll have to exit through the back of my house.
Scary movie season continues as Hugh Grant stars as a sinister man toying with Mormon missionaries in Heretic, creeping into theaters November 8th.
Red one is on the move.
Evening, ladies. What are you so excited about?
November 15th sees Santa's security squad springing into action when St. Nick is abducted in Red 1.
I claim this city for the glory of Rome.
Swords and Sandals are back in style when Gladiator 2 marches into movie theaters November 22nd. The Witches of Oz are ready for their close-ups as the big screen adaptation of the musical Wicked flies into movie theaters on the 22nd.
This is a call from the ancestors to sail to new skies.
And 8 years after the original, Moana 2 sails into theaters just ahead of the Thanksgiving weekend holiday on November 27th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Heidi Klum's Halloween costume this year was otherworldly. Klum goes all out for her Halloween party each year. This year, she came out dressed as E.T. Her husband was also E.T. from a different scene in the movie. It seems E.T. was a popular costume this year. Singer Janelle Monáe also appeared as E.T. on the Jennifer Hudson show. These are so good.
The worm last year is what got me, and then you're like, there's no way she can top that.
Right.
And then
she's
here
E.T.
you have this
it's
there.
Crazy.
Though, I'm surprised they didn't have a bicycle there and one of them in the bicycle.
I know. Hours of makeup, though, to get all that done. So crazy.
Hey, before we go to break, here's a look at your winning lottery numbers.